Good morning from the Sunshine State. It's a little chilly here. I'm over on the west coast of Florida, west central Florida. I'm Betsy Schwartz, owner of Birth in the Know and founder of Doula Quest, Postpartum Doula Training Mentoring Program. And my website is birthintheknow.com. So you may be on there now reading my blog, or you could be on YouTube watching this video. And so I'm going to share with you today about some of the challenges that I've discovered in being a postpartum doula. Every job, life has challenges, right? So how do we deal with them? How do we perceive them? How do we respond or not respond? That's what's really important. But I'm going to go through, and I have my paper just so I don't forget, but you can read the blog also. But these are some of the challenges that I've encountered and I've heard from other doulas. One of them is letting go when the job is over. How do you know when it's over? In fact, I have a blog about that. But letting go, being able to say, hey, our time together is done. Thank you. It was great. Good luck with everything. And really letting go. And that can be a challenge for many of us because we're givers. Not bringing the job home, right? Like any job. Once you're in the car and you're heading home, you want to release, you want to let go, just whatever happened. Maybe you want to share and discuss because it's something really challenging. Maybe there's another doula. You can leave names out, please, because of confidentiality. But it does help to share or to process if you're going through something with a client. That is really helpful. Communicating effectively. Now I want to say I'm running through these real quick, but there'll be more in the blog post. How do you share what you're concerned about? Or how do you ask or know what you're supposed to be doing in any given day with a client? How do you communicate daily, but also how do you communicate in terms of scheduling? Is that texting? Is it phone calls? Is it messenger? You want to figure all this out ahead of time so you're very clear with your clients. And then actually being with your clients and communicating effectively is another thing where perhaps words aren't necessary. You can read the room, you can figure out what you got to do, but maybe you got to ask questions or maybe you got to bring up a concern. So it's how you do it and how you get it across that matters. Here's the one that's a really big challenge for many because we're leaving our judge at home and we may be supporting choices that we do not agree with, that we would never make. For example, breastfeeding versus formula feeding. Those of us that breastfed our children and are strong supporters and advocates, which of course doulas are for breastfeeding, you may have a client that's not breastfeeding. And supporting those choices and meeting mothers and families where they're at so that you can still be a great support, because of course you can be. There are so many other things going on with a new baby and you want to be the best support you can be. And in fact, if you feel like you're not, you may want to refer out to another doula. Adapting to a wide range of personalities. And this goes with all of these, with communication and how you fit in. Right? Everybody has a different style of who they are. Like for me, I know I'm just pretty laid back. This is how it is for me. I'm not in the fashion show, right? So you have the type A's and the type B's and anything in between. So who are you working with? It's important to hone in on who that personality is so that you know how you can fit in seamlessly and perhaps not change who you are, but know when it's time to sit down and have a chat, or to maybe leave notes when you're gone, or receive the list from the client, whatever it is. But personalities matter because you're mixing everybody up together and then you're in the scene as well. Adapting to a variety of circumstances. This is kind of like lifestyle choices, maybe is a better way to put it. You don't know always what you're walking into. Hopefully you're meeting with your clients ahead of time so you're getting to know and you're in their home and you can see it and get a feel. But honestly, you don't know everything you're walking into. So lifestyle in terms of what they eat, how they maybe discipline other children or not, things like that, where this is their life, this is how they behave. Now, some of those things you may have an influence on, like nutrition, which is super important. But also, just maybe the way they keep their house, maybe it's really messy, or maybe it's over the top, everything has to be in order. But so that's kind of, there's different things you're walking into and you don't always know. And then there could be other troubles happening you don't know. Maybe there's marriage troubles, financial troubles. You will learn these things as you're working with clients. They'll reveal if they trust you and they want to talk to you about it. But there are a variety of things you'll walk into. Emotional giving. Okay, this job is not a job like other jobs. Being a postpartum doula, you're really giving of yourself. You're really there for another person, listening, truly, intently listening, so that you know what your role is and how you can be the best support for that mother and family. It's really important that you just keep a check on how much you're giving and making sure that you're receiving in some other way. You got to fill your cup up so that you can pour it out for somebody else. And that's that whole self-care, self-preservation. Goes back to boundaries, which I have another blog post on. So just be mindful of when you need your cup filled and how you're going to fill that cup up. Bottle feeding challenges. So we have different people breastfeeding, bottle feeding. I mean, it could be a breastfeeding mom that's starting to deal with bottles, or it could be a baby that is real fussy with which nipples, or perhaps the formulas are upsetting the baby. So there can be all kinds of challenges with bottle feeding, whether it's a breastfeeding mother or not. And I think it's just keeping an eye, listening, watching the baby. If it's something more medical, of course, we want to refer that to the pediatrician. But a postpartum doula is going to be in those situations where something's going on, with the nipple, with the bottle, with the formula, whatever the case may be. So just be familiar with the different styles, ways of feeding the bottle to the baby in terms of the slowness, the nipple flow, all that kind of stuff. It's really, like, we sometimes think breastfeeding can be challenging and there's so many things to learn, but also with the bottle feeding, there can be just as many challenges, or maybe even more. So watch out for that. And then lastly, loss of a baby. So that's something where I know a lot of postpartum doulas aren't necessarily in the mix with that experience. However, you could be, and you might be, and the longer you work, you probably will be. And what I just have to say about that is really grief and loss is a process. And we just really want to be there for another person. I do encourage you to take some type of course or training or do some reading on that. You will touch upon it perhaps in your postpartum doula training, but it's really generally knowing what it's like to grieve. Now, I can't say I know in terms of losing a child or a baby. I really don't know. And there's different stages of loss. But the thing is, here you are. What do you need from me? How can I support you? I'm here for you. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything special, over the top. Just be human to human. And then find out, maybe other doulas have tried different things, or they know certain things that clients really love, or find out, what or how you can still fit in, and maybe not, because postpartum doulas are there when there's a new baby, and when there isn't one, you could be a reminder. So I don't know, you could end up being a target for somebody just because they don't know where to throw the grief. But just watch for that, and just be there and learn what you can about what that's like for another person that you might know even in your life. Or maybe you have experienced loss, so and maybe that's where you want to specialize and provide services. So, all right, so that was a lot right there. But please know to go to birthintheknow.com. You can read the blog on this. The video will be there as well. You can subscribe to this channel, my YouTube channel, Postpartum Doula Training. Betsy Schwartz, Birth in the Know, and founder of Doula Quest. Thanks for watching, and please do share, and have a beautiful day.